though.
Oh, snap.
But can we see that book then?
Oh,
Or the UV light? This is testing,
you can't see
testing, one,
the book
2.
without the fucking
This is
light on,
testing,
bro.
testing, 1, 2. So I was going off the other day,
You might be able to
and
see
then I
better.
realized that
Oh,
this
Lucy.
was, oh, I'm on the wrong box entirely.
Oh, look at that. I bet that's like
And
Oregon
I
Coast.
realized it was,
Look, Oregon Coast. Oh, look. What we can do is I can do a presentation like.
you're doing one right now.
Right here we have a chicken dancing
Let
in
me
the
see.
ocean.
You'd have to turn
It's on the
maybe.
Pacific coast, and this is probably more than likely Oregon.
It says it
I am
rotate.
talking like I'm from Australia.
Wait, it just cut out and cut back in.
Australia.
Maybe you do need the light on, but it is way
No, it
pixelated.
looks better without. the
No,
light.
you have no idea what I can see. And I mean, if you, I'm so confused at what we're seeing. Are we zoomed in? This is all.
We have a
Hold
fine
on.
specimen here.
Hold on, hold on. I can't see that. Yeah. Okay, wait. Now I can see. Come back, come back. Wait. Hold on. Help, help. Oh, help, help.
Rita.
Okay, wait. Okay. Like, you can see from there, but like, I'm not that great, unfortunately, at like understanding
zoom
where the
out.
film is. I mean, understanding where the.
Are you able to zoom out?
Yeah.
There you go. I'll turn your phone sideways.
No, it won't let me. It is a B like that.
You turn the.
I'm telling you, if I turn this phone, it's going to say orientation locked. It'll stop the stream. It already did it once. But I'm
Chicken
surprised that.
That's the path of the chicken.
But how is that?
Well, it will probably a vibrant.
I'm asking you a flipping question. You were supposed to try to answer.
You're sideways still.
What do you mean though?
Look around the
I
other
meant
way.
watch.
Straight. Now zoom out. Get another way
I'm
from
not zoomed, but orientation is locked.
it. Yeah, that's fine.
Rotate it ends the stream, silly, when you do that.
Oh.
Okay, turn pages or something.
Well, no, you want to get to a. Hold on, let's see.
No, you don't need to.
Like
I don't want like random.
There you go.
But it's not filming. See how it says that?
Boom.
Rotate device to get back. So it's not recording.
You don't have. Oh, it's not. It says it's live still.
But it also said it's not.
What are you talking about? It's recording.
Orientation is locked.
That's fine.
One person, can you see what's anything?
Maybe.
I don't think they can. Can you see anything, Vazel? I'm from a distance. Can you all see?
We want to show you all a really cool book.
I don't think they can. I think they can see now.
Oh, that one.
That like lit it up. Whoa. That is real.
Yeah, see the light just
How-
gonna shatter it. Ooh. There you go.
Come.
Oh, King Kong. There you go.
Whoa.
Oh.
Land and
Oh my
sea.
God, you go. There we go. We gotta flip it upside down.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have to work with the book, I guess.
It's all backwards.
He is almost fuzzy.
Orientation is all jacked up.
Okay,
Up
now
is
I
down
want to.
and left
Down is
right.
up because
Up and
I'm trying to get. Wait, he's got. Those are seals. And then that. Look at that crab. We find those shells. That's good to know and have. Okay. Whoa, he's not messing around. Okay,
All right,
next. Sandy shores.
Beautiful.
Where?
We're used to this.
Whoa, let's see this.
We're
What is that? A sand spider?
what it says.
I'm
No,
just
it's a
getting.
sandy shore. That's a crab.
That's a crab.
Crab of crabs.
Hermit? That's a hermit, maybe? Below is a painted ghost crab. It's hard to figure out the... Oh, look at him. He ain't messing around. Okay, Rich Pickens.
Looks like sand.
Where is this, we think?
Sand piles. And
Oh, we could do polls if we had enough people to try and guess
yeah, what
where
page?
it is. No. Or yeah. Well.
What page number? And then what do you think it is?
Yeah. Can you give us a page number? You got between like.
You got 300.
300 pages. Somebody drop a page number.
255.
255. The book is The Spirit of the Ocean. And it's a really dope book. Rich pickings. Where's this?
So
yeah, well, we're just testing this out.
But
because
what a wonderful audience.
Indeed. Okay.
You're going to bend the pages, Lou. Ooh, that's pretty. That's the kelp beds.
Okay, you're going to have to do the film.
In the ocean.
You just moved the thing.
There's old Steely.
He is a beautiful...
Steely Dan, they call him.
How do you know? The light is doing the thing, though. Look at him. You have to get closer, I think. Closer. Let me whisper in your ear.
So cute.
Ooh, tell me things I love to hear. Wait, whoa, that was... No, go.
Oh, boy.
Closer. Ooh, ooh. What is that supposed to be? Ooh, ooh. Oh, that's some puffer fish for you and me. That's crazy. I ain't messing around now, no. Whoa. Well, see, when you went from the crab to the last one, go back a page, because it was real trippy when you turned it because of what was on the other page, the rainforest style thing.
Oh, the kelp bed.
Yeah, excuse me. Excuse me. That, when you went from the seal and you went to that, just like...
Coastal water. This is like what's in all of the Pacific Coast, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy the vegetation they have. I actually have some shorts on that, matter of fact.
Oh, there's the blue hole.
But there's like multiple of these. Which blue hole is this? I mean, I'm not kidding. So below. Oh, I could have read it, but there you go. What's it say about the blue hole? The blue hole, a famous dive, Belize. It's in Belize. Belize, believe me when I say. I had to do it from the jump. Whoa. He's trippy. He's got like lipstick on.
Nobody's watching.
It doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Ooh,
that looked good. That looked good.
That's what I mean. You're going to have to do that and turn it because it's not working however you're holding it or something.
It just influxed. So there, Nathan.
No, it's just a dumb setup.
It's just a dumb setup. Thanks for that. Why didn't we start here? It is a weird setup. They went floating by. Now it's in flux. You said nobody's watching and you got discouraged. I was like, who cares? And then it went to 3 and now it's at 0. But it is time to rearrange since we can't figure out where land meets sea, I imagine. Coastal waters. The open ocean. I'm like, the open ocean. Like, it's difficult. Polar season. Oh, boy. Maybe we'll go to polar seas. This is the technology right here that they have really advanced on that they're not. Wait. I feel like... Yeah, this is a whole new setup. You have both lights on, Silly Willy Machiavelli. Where at? Interesting. Like I'm watching this on my TV too. Because what are the odds that in 2025... Does anybody want to guess where this is? Well, does anybody want to guess where this is? It's where land meets sea. If I had to guess, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it the right way. Life on the edge. Shoreline is a tough place to live. That's great and all that it just told me. Mud skippers? Is anybody familiar with such a... Are they serious that they're really not gonna... Oh, check these guys out. Okay, thank you. See, but then, like, I see this and it says below, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna tell me. Oh, they're puffins. Many seaweed live between the tides and are regularly exposed to the air. They stay moist by retaining seawater in their tissues, soaked up and held in by absorbent molecules of algin. That's too much of a... Ooh. Who would think that this would end up looking like that over there? Mussels, for instance, which I just uploaded a short on aragonite. And, whoa, that's the hermit crab on aragonite, which comes from mussels. For instance, clamp their shells just before the falling tide exposes them to the air. By doing this, they trap a reservoir of water. Okay, well, hold on. Mussels, for instance. Now I want to know what the page before that says. Okay, life on the edge. The shoreline is a tough place to live. To survive here, animals have to be able to cope with crashing waves, immersion in seawater, and exposure to air. As the tides cover and expose them, they experience sudden changes in temperature. Well, we've been doing that here at like almost 30-degree fluctuations, and I remember when it was 20-degree fluctuations, and I thought that was bizarre. But now we're doing like 30-degree fluctuations in a day. Immersion in sea, they experience sudden changes in temperature. What is more, many have 2 sets of predators to avoid. Don't we all? Don't we all? Because I feel like they have to tell us, like, everything. Those that live in the water, and those that fly or live on land and breathe air. The majority of shore creatures are ocean dwellers that have adapted to life in the surf. These animals get their oxygen from water, which all the elements are most definitely interchangeable. Why else would there be such a thing as alchemy? And if you look at the word ether, A-E-T-H-E-R, it has the air, it has the heat, the fire, has the earth for sure, and W was like the last letter added to the light. Yeah, so it has the water too, so they're all there. Okay, the majority of shore creatures are ocean dwellers that have adapted to life in the surf. These animals get their oxygen from water. And so potentially, okay, that's what you're going to focus on. These animals get their oxygen from water. And so potentially face great danger whenever the tide goes out. Well, yeah, okay, I jumped the gun, if you will. Some, such as prawns and fish, I've always thought that's a weird word, avoid the problem. Yeah, okay, by retreating with the falling water. They're like, peace out, we ain't hanging around for that. We ain't taking no risk. A few may find themselves temporarily trapped in rock pools. Yeah, that's happened to me where I've taken something home that somebody is still residing in. Oops, you always want to be careful not to do that. But as long as they remain surrounded by water, they can still breathe until released again by the returning tide. Other animals have evolved methods to enable them to survive both in and out of the sea. Mud skippers, for example, which live along many shores in the tropics, have gills like other fish, but can also absorb oxygen through their skin from the air. This rare, how is it though, really rare ability enables them to venture out onto the land. So if we know for factual facts that, I mean, like, we can go see that, I mean, we probably have, why would it not be possible for other beings to also have that we just aren't aware of? Just saying. Okay, so, because there's walking fish. Okay, this rare ability enables them to venture out onto the land, held upright by their strong pectoral fins, and exploit food resources that are out of reach of other fish. Yeah, I don't have a clue. I was just going to say what you're seeing because this is a whole new setup. Most shoreline animals, however, are dependent on water to breathe. Most shoreline animals, however, are dependent animals. That is a bird, an animal. It's an avian. Is that a broad statement? Am I looking too much into this? It's possible. However, are dependent on water to breathe, have to regularly return to the water to top up like it's a game. To top up their oxygen levels, they carry water about with them when on land, held inside their carapaces, but this has to be flushed out and replaced whenever the oxygen in it becomes used up. The idea is much the same as that employed by human scuba divers, but in reverse. Crabs are highly mobile creatures, but not all shoreline animals are able to nip in and out of the water when they please. Many are too slow moving or spending their lives attached to one spot. For these creatures, that happens to humans too. For these creatures, life depends on being able to survive on a little oxygen and conserving the water that contains it until the tide returns. Okay. Onward and upward. Oh, I didn't even see this guy. Oh, come on. I'm so confused. Okay, thank you. About the orientation. You're really messing me up. But yet, it's not going to tell me what he is. I'm so confused. Okay. Shoreline habitats in general are difficult places for animals to live. Unlike sandy and shores are often steep or even vertical where they meet the water. This causes problems because waves hitting them often impact with great force. In order to survive here in places like this, of the rocky shores, that light is right above me, way too bright. Okay, let's continue, even though the picture is like, okay, this guy is bizarre. This is like a testing one too. Okay, will tend to slope gently to sea. Rocky shores are often steep or even vertical where they meet the water. Vertical? Interesting. This causes problems because waves hitting them often impact with great animal force. In order to survive here and not be washed away, it is vital for animals to have a very good grip on the rock. Only creatures famous for its grip. Oh, one creature famous for its grip is the limpet. But, like, you would think they'd show you a limpet. That ain't no limpet. I'm just saying. Limpets are slow. Okay, wait. Go figure. Of course it's going to be a slug. One creature famous for its grip is the limpet. Nathan, a mollusk. No. Yes. From the same family as slugs and snails. Of course. It feeds when the tide is in on algae growing on the rock, scraping away at it with microscopic, horny teeth, living like their land-living cousins. Limpets, I did not know what a limpet was. I thought it was something you ate. They might eat them in England. Are slow movers, traveling by means of a single muscular foot. It's not funny, but it is, because I know kind of what that hook. It is this that they use to maintain their hold on the rock against the buffeting of the waves. I mean, I swear it's spelled that way, buffet, add ing, which is a what in English-wise? A something. following the trails of the slime. Okay, wait. As the tide drops, they each head back to a particular favorite spot, following the trails of the slime they left earlier. Once they reach these spots, they pull themselves hard against the rock, forming a watertight seal with water flippin' tight, Nathaniel, which keeps their soft body safe when the tide is out. Why don't you take some pictures if you're on a bike? The position each limpet adopts before pulling itself down is very precise, and over time, grooves are worn into the rock. Okay, that's why grooves are worn into my floor. This is all making sense. The position each limpet adopts before pulling itself. I'm not saying I got limpets, but something is out in these what have yous. Is very precise, and over time, grooves are worn into the rock, which exactly match the individual shapes of their shell. Okay, maybe I didn't say I ain't got shell. Who knows? Even when they are on the move, limpets are very sensitive to being exposed to the air and pull themselves tight against the rock in between waves. This reaction helps to make them less vulnerable to predatory birds such as oyster catchers, which patrol the waterline in search of mollusks on which to feed. Limpets may have a strong grip, but barnacles hold on even more tightly. Okay, the whole reason we went back was for this. Crustaceans, rather than mollusks, they literally cement. What? Okay, wait. Because that's a mollusk, right? They literally cement themselves to the rock. Like many rocky shore dwellers, barnacles are often filter feeders, sifting out tiny particles of food that wash over them with the waves. They do this by means of their feathery legs, which have no locomotive function at all. As adults, barnacles spend their whole lives fixed to one spot, waiting for their food to come to them. Before that, however, they live as microscopic larvae. Why is this so very prevalent? Oh, barely move it and it cuts. Okay. Like many rock shore dwellers, barnacles are filter feeders, sifting out tiny particles of food that wash over them with the waves. They do this by means of their feathery, leathery legs. Their feathery, I said legs, it just says feathery, which have no locomotive function at all. As adults, barnacles spend their whole lives fixed to one spot, waiting for their food to come to them. Before that, however, the only change into adults, they live as microscopic larvae, drifting along as part of the, before that, however, they live, as microscopic larvae, drifting along as part of the plankton. And we have a form of plankton for certain, like within us, something very similar to that. They only change into adults when they settle on a solid surface, or a host, I would say. This is usually rock, but maybe the skin of a whale, or the bull, or the hull of a ship. So a house or a being. Other rocky shore filter feeders include mussels, which connect themselves to the rock with tough threads. These are produced when, as larvae, they first settle out of the plankton. The threads are formed from a sticky liquid which turns solid when it comes into contact with water. Holding on to the rocks may prevent mussels from being washed away by the waves, but it does not protect them from predators. When the tide is out, they are exposed to attack from anything capable of smashing through their shells. Oyster catchers specialize in doing this, hammering away at mussels with their powerful bills. If the slightest gap appears between the paired shells, they wedge their bills in and lever them open. Failing that, they continue to bludgeon away until they break through to the other side. I'm going to guess that this would be a oyster catcher. See, and now what I'm not loving, I will say about this book, the pictures are grand, but where it says like above, so below, within, without, it does. Okay, finally. Did it tell me? Finally, it's like you have to read the. So that one place was Laguna Beach, and then that little thing was a marine iguana bass between dives for seaweed. Prehistoric looking reptiles are endemic to the Galapagos Islands, found nowhere else in the world. A close relative to the mussels called the common piddock, Piddock, has evolved a way to avoid the attentions of oyster catchers, which I'm going to guess is this guy, and other shore developing birds. It burrows into, the common piddock, we got to see if that's connected to a caterpillar, has evolved a way to avoid the attentions of oyster catchers and other shore dwelling birds. It burrows into the rock itself, excavating a chamber with the sharp edges of with its hinged shells. As it grows, it continuously rasps away with its shells so that the chamber grows with it. The entrance hole, however, remains the same size, big enough for the piddock to extend through the flexible tube, holy cow, this is just too weird, of its siphon, which it uses to suck in water and the tiny particles of food it contains. Sounds like a hummingbird a little bit, but not big enough for the animal itself to escape or be pulled out. Most filter feeders live sedimentary lives waiting for their meals to come to them, but carnivores tend to be more mobile. Sea anemones, however, are an exception to this rule. They hunt on rocky shores while remaining in one spot. Sea anemone, are members of the same group of animals as jellyfish, really, and they hunt in a similar way. They catch their food by using long, stinging tentacles. Whenever a fish, prawn, or other small creature touches one of these, it finds itself being impaled by many microscopic poison darts, which quickly paralyze it. The sea anemone then wraps its tentacles around its hapless victim and pulls it toward the mouth and the center of its body. Sea anemones themselves are sometimes attacked by larger fish, and they can pull their tentacles into the muscular bases of their bodies to protect them. They also do this to conserve water and prevent themselves drying out, as if they find themselves exposed at low tide. The anemones and shellfish of rocky shores either live fixed to the spot or move so slowly that they are often caught out by the falling tide. Now, anytime I move the book, it says the orientation is jacked, but this, why is that the way? So stupid. How does it not? That's so weird. Does it know? Now, this guy is an interesting one. He's almost like, shouldn't be locked now. You do it that way, for goodness sakes. Thank you. Look, his eyeballs. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it would be cool if it wasn't backwards. And if I wasn't literally, I'm not looking at a black screen, but if I was to look at my phone right now, it is literally a black one. This is pretty over here. It is sideways also. Many other creatures, however, travel with the tide so that they always, I assume, maybe this mofo here, so that they always remain underwater. Shore crabs and hermit crabs feed on dead and decaying matter that they find amongst the seaweed and are able to cling on with their jointed legs to prevent themselves from, well, who knew we were right on the legs, being swept away by the crashing waves. The aptly named two-spotted clingfish of European coast is just one example. It forms a sucker disc on its belly with its two pelvic fins, which sticks it to the rock. After the waterline on rocky shores, life is much less abundant. Oh, we can't help but stay right there. Look at his eyeballs. They're real pretty and and he is, by the way, a Sally Lightfoot crab scuttles across the Galapagos shore. Many crabs are almost as at home out of the sea as in it, scavenging for food both above and below the waterline. Okay, wait. Although they feed on fish and other free swimming creatures in the water, they spend a lot of time on the shores themselves at rest. Even when they do, even when they do, they don't have sex because it says pups. I didn't know a crab had pups to begin with. Is that what that means? Rocky shore birds include. Oh, thank gosh! You're gonna finally tell us. Rocky shore. Why does he do that every time? He has like fingernails. Rocky shore birds include oyster catchers and turnstones. That's a new one. Various species of these birds inhabit different parts of the world, but wherever they are found, they behave in a similar way. Oyster catchers, you're going to give me an example ever? As already. And then over here, my dear, madam woman, seaweeds are common on rocky shores than anywhere else. Strong yet flexible, they move with the water rather than resisting its force. Seaweeds are attached to the rocks by structures called holdfasts, which prevent them from being washed away. That's an interesting word and a new one for me. And I kind of wish it wasn't like upside down TV, but this is a trippy, glary actual picture that is actually quite trippy. Like, as long as we keep it. Oh, yeah, I figured that out. Didn't I? Sorta, kinda, sorta. Okay. All right. So we need to turn it. This earlier I was saying, does anybody want to guess where things are? Or give me a page and I'll turn right to it. But I'm going to guess right here, right now, that this is like San Diego, La Jolla. It isn't. Nope, I'm far wrong. But they definitely have this in the San Diego Bay. They do have a big bay, but technically that's the San Francisco Bay. That isn't that song. My friend's like, get off. I'm not walking on those rocks. I'm like, why? But why? Well, he's like, that's all bird poo. I'm like, I wasn't like picking up on that. These guys are crazy. I didn't know my hand was right on his head. What's in your... That's just your nose, Rose? Aw. They are... Well, it depends, actually. If it's a seal or if it's a sea lion. They're very... I mean, I don't know, actually. But I know... I feel rather... Look, he's like sitting with his like arm bent. Aw. She looks like the female, like wise and chill, trying to tell dude not to be so flipped out. You see them bite marks, or they might not even be bite marks. These homies just be jumping off the freaking rocks like nobody's business. Like, it's kind of crazy. Hello. Oh, hi, you. I can't see much. I'm doing this new, like, this is the first time I've ever done this because computers are lacking in 2025, if that makes sense at all. And therefore, I have to use my phone for a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, wait. We want to go this way? Is that what it is? Plus, we got the orientation wrong. But the fact that I can do this and see it on my television as I do, the gist is this. If I need to, like, just... I can turn the camera on, yada, yada. The phones are computers now. Matter of fact, you could always hook that glare is a mofo, biatch. Now that'll trigger the camera to make it what have you. This guy's been so crazy. So anyway, not that I was not trying to say hello to whomever else, but I guess Jay Dreamers has a point. If you see your name tagged, it does kind of, and I just happened to look up at that time and did see it tagged. Now, it's not going to tell us where this one is, but I would almost say Galapagos. But, oh, that last one, by the way, was in somewhere in the UK. What do we have here? My dear. Sandy shores. If rocky shores are barren, sandy shores are whoa. His what? Like he has interesting. Interesting. His shadow is too. If rocky shores are barren, sandy shores are even more so. By their nature, they are constantly shifting and so provide nothing for seaweed to cling to. Most creatures that live on sandy beaches are scavengers, relying almost entirely on what the sea washes up. Gulls, they're crazy, wander the shoreline looking for scraps, but often there are no other large animals to be seen. Anyone who has walked along the shoreline on a sandy beach will be familiar with one of the few specialists of this habitat, the sandhopper. Familiar with one of, because now I'm having to read sideways, but familiar with one of the few specialists of this habitat, the sandhopper. Sandhoppers are crustaceans closely related to freshwater shrimps, and they live almost entirely on rotting seaweed. Okay. Oh, and they're freshwater shrimps. I don't know that I even knew that was a thing. Just saying. Various species live on sandy beaches in different parts of the world, but they all look very similar. Speaking of sandy beaches, I wonder where this one is in this book. Like, you have to like read the next page or two to find out where it is. Okay. They all look very similar and behave in a similar way. The easiest way to see them, if they are not already visible, is, so I guess they just out there chilling on the rocks. Is what I gather. I know a crab. They kind of look like they have lipstick on. I need to find footage of it. They're over here on the Gulf Coast. If they are not already visible, it's to lift up a piece of seaweed. With their coverage gone, the sandhoppers beneath leap around in all directions, and sometimes flying more than 2 feet in the air. These little creatures, no more than half an inch, 1.27 centimeters long, propel themselves with a powerful flick of the tail, something with their aquatic cousins do when they need to shoot quickly. Why don't you tell us who their aquatic cousin is? Sea slatters, like sandhoppers. See, I bet this ain't even the cousin. Are crustaceans that live, maybe it is, crustaceans that live near the high tide mark on sandy beaches and scavenge dead matter. We don't want it unless it's dead, Fred. Although they too are common worldwide. They are less often seen as they tend to be nocturnal, spending the day hidden away in crevices or beneath driftwood. Sea slatters are closely related to, wood lice. So we're back over here. For sure. Oh, yeah. Things you cannot see. There's a lot of that going on. Okay, wood lice or sow bugs, and look like giant versions of them, sometimes reaching an inch, 2.54 centimeters in length. I forgot that's what that equivalated to. Making up words. The dry sand at the tops of beaches is almost barren, but whenever the water penetrates, life survives. Water. Tiny nematode. Jeez Louise. This could not get more crazy. And what page am I on? 26, but some are just pictures, so this is weird. Tiny nematode worms swim between the what? The what? I mean, it depends on where they're at, I guess. And is this the painted crab? We'll find out. Okay, wait, what was that last thing? They do what? Oh, that's what that's making. Oh, how did I... Look at this motherfucker. Excuse my language. Crap, I was doing so good. Like, for reals? Like, that's a beast. I mean, am I zoomed in? I don't think so. Like, I know... No. Zoom out. That's a bit. I'm doing the best I can. Look at this mother. We have the wrong light on or whatever. Whoa. That's still him, right? And I'm like having to. That's a tail. What's interesting to me, and I would love to know, because I was tripped the F out when I found out about it, is those snakes that make like pearls or what have you. I'm watching it like, whoa, the page is moving a little bit from the fan, and it kind of made him look like he was breathing. Is this a... Whoa, I didn't see. Dude, that looks just like a Grateful Dead terrapin turtle, the thing with the hook. I didn't see them, oh my goodness, before. Cuckoo, cuckoo. What? Why? That one in the front. Look at that. They look like different things. Is that just me? But the first one here looks like a turtle. The one to the back, more like a dinosaur. His things are up. The next one looks like kind of Shaggy Dog style. Next one looks like it's a turtle talking to the what have yous. You got him like, why are you taking my picture? And then, jeez, very reptilian looking beast. Whatever that even means. He looks like he's starting to smile at us. Get his smile on. Now that one, that one looks like an owl. I mean, they look very different, do they not, for being the same species of... No, I got a giraffe and like a Yoda / hybrid. Pfft, what is that one? I mean, and this, I take it, is their leader. that I need the glare to go away, but come on. You know. Okay. I feel like we can get this. Like, I feel like... Okay, so wait. If I do it any more than that, it's gonna... Yeah. Just a bit much. Like, really? I didn't know that they all looked that different, and or that they hung out like either. We could say that. Now, what is it? He is fuzzy. And insect-like, and crustacean-like. See, yeah, I don't know how to film, but this is... Okay, so top is hermit crabs. That's the hermit crab. And, I mean, that's just kind of ironically ironic to me. I guess I just never seen one, like... I mean, I know I see their shells all the time. I didn't know they was that fuzzy. Hermit crabs are often encountered on rocky shores. These little crustaceans hide their bodies inside discarded sea snail shells, which carry around water wherever they go. See, that's weird to me that that's possible. They carry water with them everywhere they go. So crustaceans are smarter than some humans above, although sea anemones look like flowers. These guys, yeah, I was pretty fascinated by what all was going on right there for, like, sure. And next time that I film like this, I'll have it better, but at least I know that I can do it, because computers aren't as what have you in this day and age. Marine iguanas seem to grow from the rocks. What? Okay, that's interesting, though, because I did notice that, like, why do they all look so damn different? But you're going to tell me why? They grow from the rocks they inhabit, like their inland cousins. These lizards are cold-blooded and have to bask in... That didn't help me with my what have you. Sandy shores, where do we think this is? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget that we're upside down. And we were on this page already, actually. And it didn't tell us yet, did it? How do I, you know what? There we go. What else is stoops? Is that usually if I'm outside. I'm not usually inside doing lives. Ooh la la. But this is just a test to see if I can just go live from my room if I so desire without having. What's going on with this? I understand what it is, but why does this look so fuzzy wuzzy? Was a bear? Sea turtle, right? Don't be square. Messing things up. Human race. Bit of a maybe it's like a, I don't know, starfish. Okay. Let me pick this up. Let me try to, if at first you don't read, well, dust yourself off and try again, but it doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, it's upside down and squirted for all the years to come. That came out. Dum dum. I want to see the damn turtle. It's the light. Wait. Do we even see him? That's what's up. Barely. Whoop, there he is. Little baby turts. Little baby turts. Little baby turts. Aw. Turtles also take advantage of the relative safety of sandy beaches. They are forced to leave the sea because their eggs cannot develop in water, and they choose sandy beaches because they are the easiest to excavate. Smart. See, turtles, be smart. Dude, they blend in like everything. Nature is amazing like that. Okay. Different species of turtles prefer different beaches, and they return to the same ones unerringly year after year, like Siesta Key, that was the whatever spot. Having made it at sea, female turtles head toward their favored beaches and gather offshore. Most wait until sunset to haul themselves out. It's a really cool thing to witness, as their freshly laid eggs are less vulnerable at night to predators, particularly birds. Slowly and laboriously, each turtle digs a hole with her flippers in which to lay her eggs. By dawn, most have finished, buried their clutches, like you got your pearls. Buried their clutches. Remember at Pear's wedding, there was a bunch of sea turtles? I didn't get to see them, but do you recall? I just heard you enter. The young turtles hatch out weeks later, most at the time, and make a dash for the sea. Many seals and sea lions choose sandy beaches to both mate and have their young. Northern elephant seals are typical. Oh, you're just so basic. That's what they said about the elephant seals. The first to you walked. The first to arrive are the adult males who battle for territory on the offshoots, like 300 sea lion style. The first to arrive are the adult males who battle for territory on the offshore island beaches. Like this one, this is going to be my key. Barrier Island, bitch. Offshore islands, beaches of California and Mexico. The victors stake their claim. So, like, I'm seeing so much just parallels of human everyday life with this whole animal book. The victors stake their claim to a patch of sand, one patch, one parcel, one lot, 1 acre. And the defeated are driven back into the sea. Later, they're like, deuces, don't holler at me no more. When the much smaller females arrive, the males gather them into harems, which they defend from neighboring rivals. The males mate with receptive. Well, that's good to know. I mean, does that mean like acceptive or receptive? I think just ones that can do it. Receptive. And already pregnant females pup. And already, so they knock up. They don't even care if she's already carrying babies. That's what it just said. Seals and I was wanting and wondering. Okay. The victors stake their claim to a patch of sand, and the defeated are driven back into the sea. That probably is not going to help us, y'all, at all. The victors stake their claim to a patch of sand and are defeated. The defeated ones driven back to sea. When the much smaller females arrive, the much smaller females at that, the males gather them into harems, Harems, I would need to look that up, which they defend from neighboring rivals. The males mate, sorry if that's the microphone right by my mouth, with receptive, that doesn't mean it's consensual, but the male, that's what I was gathering. The males with mate with receptive females and already pregnant females pup. So wait, Nathan, interpret this. The males mate with receptive females and already pregnant females pup. So does that mean, that's what I'm asking. It sounds like seals that are already pregnant, well, if a pup is a female flipping seal or a sea lion, I guess so. Soon after giving birth, let me guess, they do it again. Soon after giving birth, they too are mated. Okay, most to return pregnant to the same beaches the following year. So like Teen Mom, and it is like real life situations, that is. That's what I'm gathering. So this over here is, now that it's actually going to tell me for once, the world's largest something or other, sea turtle. The world's five species of sea turtle rely on sandy shores. It didn't say anything about large. Here, a green turtle covers her eggs after laying them in the sand on Ascension Island, of all places, in the Atlantic Ocean. Nathan, will you turn my light overhead off?
Yeah.
Most baby turtles hatch at night to avoid predators. Thank you. Quack, quack. But a few are still making their way down to the sea at dawn. Okay, that's way better. Those females that survive to adulthood will eventually return to the beach where they hatch to lay their own eggs. Okay. Whoa. I mean, hello. A manatee? That is my best guess from right here. Gotta be. I think I might have ripped it. Did I? Was it ripped? We need tape. Look at these crazy guys. I mean, are these manatees? They gotta be, right? It is. No, I don't even know, but I know sunset. Okay. This is all trippy. So that place in itself, right off the bat, the sun sets over Indian Beach at the edge of Ecola, ECOLA State Park, Oregon, USA. Although beaches may seem permanent, they are slowly but almost continuously on the move. Growing in some places, I'll say, and disappearing in others, yeah, as the never-ending story. Whoa, 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 the never-ending story. The never-ending force of the water, of the waves, shifts their sands along the coast. Now, this is the southern elephant seal. I thought it was a damn manatee. I was not sure. Haul out on the beaches to pup. Nathan, can you get some Google going on what pup means? I thought it meant like a baby seal. Does pup means to bang in their term? Like, why do they have their own terminology? I don't know. Southern elephant seals haul out on beaches to pup. Can you look up what the word pup means in regard to seals, please? Nathan.
How do you spell it?
P-U-P, pup. Males fight.
It's a baby pup. It's a seal pup. It's like a puppy.
Southern elephant seals haul at. Listen to me. Oh. I'm trying to tell you what the damn thing says, and I already asked you. This is the second question. Elephant seals haul out on beaches to pup. Period. Males fight for dominance over certain areas of the beach and the right.
Oh, pup is when they fight.
Or fuck is what it's. Do you fight or do you fuck? And the right to mate with any females. Oh, so it's not consensual. They have the right to fight to mate with any females that settle there. The southern elephant seal is the world's. I thought it was a manatee, Nathan. I don't even know if you ever seen this. I had not. The world's largest seal. You have no idea. That was a total fabrication. With males growing up to 13 feet long and weighing in as much as 2 tons. Dude, it looks like something you would see on Star Wars.
Yeah. Jabba the Hutt and shit. Alright?
Alright.
You know.
Alright. Do you know what he's saying?
I wish I had a. I guess I got pancakes.
What is this guy? I mean,
One of those things called I've made all
Pup.
What are they
It
called?
does look like a silly creature. Because I can make
French
anything.
toast, homemade French toast.
What do we guess that these are? Is this what we were just reading about or something entirely different? Like, I mean, that's something. That's an eel, I think. And definitely something different. No doubt about how big is this whatever it might be. Like that's the also what I was started to think and say was what's up with things that have like that looks like it could be its head with the two eyes. What are those things coming off of it? Like this is what I'm seeing on a microscopic level that gets to be not microscopic, but what the flip is going on in the world these days? Okay, so that's huge. And that says it's a stingray? That is a stingray. Stingrays are perfectly designed for life on the seabed with flattened bodies that hug the bottom. The fish, related to sharks, move by, and to think that's what got Steve Irwin of all things, because you can pet them at the. I asked you earlier, did you want to go see the manatees today? At the Tico plant, we should do that. And you can pet the stingrays there. So see how shallow that is, though. Like that's literally the shore, because you're drifting too far from the shore. Let's see. They move by okay, this is these fish. They're actually considered fish. Stingrays are considered fish. These fish related to sharks move by undulating. It makes me think of being pregnant of sorts. I don't know. Undulating. Yeah, their muscular pectoral wings and feed on crustaceans and other creatures that live or hide themselves in the sand. Stingrays do not see their prey. I love this, but rather find it by means of smell and or electroreception. Dude, this book is like had a lot of like good knowledge already of things that I will go back and look up. Electroreception. Picking up the tiny electrical currents. Think about what we must give off if muscles. Wait, not even muscles. Picking up the tiny electrical currents given off by the muscles of buried animals. Not alive, even. Buried leaves me to believe they are dead. I'm just saying. That's crazy. So no wonder they hit Steve Irwin's heart, maybe? Because, like, if they can pick up on the muscles, the electroreception, wow. Picking up the tiny electrical currents given off by the muscles of buried animals. But that's this stingray left. Stingrays. This is a big ass stingray that does not look at all, to me, the same as the other one. But I mean, this one is not like the other one. We're not the droids you're looking for. Above, stingrays live in the world's tropical and subtropical waters, tend to be concentrated in greatest numbers near to coast. There are around 70, okay, there we go, different species altogether, because, yeah, that's kind of my point. Those two do not look the same. This one is swimming in the waters, I would say, I was going to say the Gulf, lapping at, this is the, good, we need to spray the yard. In the waters lapping a beach in the Maldives. The poisonous sting that gives these fish their name is located on the upper part of the tail. It is only used for defense as a last resort. Stingrays are generally placid, and I would think so if they let children pet them at the thing. Where did you come across it? In here or out there? Dude, I've been trying. Well, my father's being super helpful. Ooh, look at his tattoo. What? I know what these are. These look like crab spiders, but they're not. But we have spiders. This is ticking. You're done for from there. Once they're on you, you're kind of done for. That's kind of just a cool picture altogether. So this would be working actually out quite well if I just had the orientation, whatever the heck, right. That's a cool picture with the shell. These guys are cool. We have, oh, somehow I'm at an hour marker. Just noticed it. What have you? I didn't know this. Well, I was going to say, I didn't know this was going to happen. Well, I kind of didn't. I was like, I don't even feel it. Anyway, hooking your phone up, by the way, if you don't have a computer and you want to use it, let's see. You could always hook you could always hook your computer up to the thing, right? But your phone to your television, yada yada. But if you have a Samsung, this is like, and like you can control it with was that an eyeball? I mean, well, it kind of looks that way. Do they even have eyeballs? I mean, I don't know if anybody knows. So DEX used to be what, screen share or something like that. Nonetheless, it's something different now. Whoa. And I'm assuming if two people are at least watching that it's not all crazy, stupid, pixelated. A massive flea. Dude, we've been having so much weird things happening.
On my hair, and I was like, oh my god, that's big. That's a flea.
Why are they concentrated to like a concrete area? I wonder. I really do.
Wait, never mind.
Never mind what?
It wasn't a flea.
What was it? Yeah, exactly. We don't know, do we?
It was a threat from my sock.
It didn't bite you?
No, I was wondering how it was on my hair and it looked so big. So it wasn't, thank God, but oh my god, that would have been the biggest flea I've ever seen. But now
They maybe do have eyes. Young starfish are briefly exposed by the falling tide. Starfish are not true fish at all. Okay. Nice. Don't put them in a box. But members of animals called the echinoderms. Most species feed on shellfish, which they find in the sand. Okay. Now that's a manatee. Now that's a manatee. Man, now that's a manatee. Estuaries and mud flats. Estuaries and mud flats form where rivers meet the sea. They are created from the sediment in rivers. Interesting. That is, I don't know that we have one of the biggest. We do have the biggest one in Florida is over on the side. I know that. I think St. John's. Am I right? Am I wrong? Estuaries and mud flats are the most productive of all coastal habitats. The rich ooze supporting a huge abundance of life, much of it buried and unseen. Tiny algae thrive on the surface of this. They really are sea cows. They are so freaking peaceful. It's ridiculously amazing. And then it really sucks when you see all like the propeller pumps on them. Like I will tell somebody in the thing when I was in my kayak, I would be like, turn your motor off, dude. Especially like if you see a bunch of them in front of you, come on. The abundance of life found in estuary. Okay, wait. Tiny algae thrive on the surface of the sediment and in the nutrient-rich waters that wash over it, supporting worms and other animals, which also feed on organic detritus and rotting matter held within the mud itself. See, everything has its role, doesn't it? With that,
that veggie looked really good.
can I have half? These in turn support fish and wading birds. The abundance of life found in estuaries is doubled by the fact that both freshwater and saltwater, so it's brine water. Is it brandish? I called it brine. Branded. Wait, Nathan, what is it called? Brandish. I think we're both wrong. Brackish. It's brackish.
Yeah. What are you asking me? I didn't even know what you were saying.
Surprise. Estuaries are very dynamic environments that can change a great deal with the tides. When the tide is in, the mud flats are covered. The many filter feeding animals that live in the sediment are able to feed. Cockles, furrow shells, talons, and other bivalve mollusks extend their cockles, furrow shells. Oh, wait, this is so weird because it's so prevalent with everything going on. Okay, listen. Bivalve bivalve mollusks extend their siphons up through the sediment and sieve the water for plankton. Some of these things they can like just take the water with them. Predatory ragworms stick their heads from their burrows to grab shrimps and other small animal prey, while lugworms continue to eat their way through the mud just as they do when the tide is out, digesting the organic matter and expelling the rest. No, I kid you not. Whoa. Ugh.
Ow.
What's this? I don't like the way that one. What do we think these are? Prawns? That's my best guess. Ugh. What are those?
Do you know what legumes are? Vegetable?
Yeah, isn't it a bean of sorts? We have.
Maybe.
What have we had? Haven't we had this?
They're really good,
before?
whatever they are.
It says that's a ragworm. Sorry, I can't grab that now. Ragworms inhabit estuaries. Look at that. Look at the screen. I do, yes. Ragworms inhabit estuaries in the millions. Most species are hunters grabbing prey from the water when the tide is in. When the water recedes, they themselves become prey to curlews and other long-billed wading birds. Other shorter-billed we have shit like this around us. Are unable to reach them, hidden in the bottom of the burrows below. Although mudflats often look lifeless, like what's right behind us, they are in fact teeming with creatures, most of which are hidden just beneath the surface. Okay, I got it in the thing. Like, hello. Like, oops, crap. Was their ear bad though, for real? This is an American. Oh, the reflection looks good. An American avocet sifts through the water overlaying estuary mud. Avocets feed on tiny creatures, which they snap from the water with the upturned ends of their bills. Unlike most waders, which probe for their food in the mud, fish also appear over the mud flats at high tide to feed on the many invertebrates. Because that's this mofo. I don't like that, though. Invertebrates crawling around or peeking out of their burrows, unable to see far in the muddy waters. Many have evolved other ways of communicating. Drums, grunts, and croakers, for example, all communicate by sound. That's probably what I was hearing for those couple weeks I spent at Tony's. As well as estuary specialists, the rising tide brings in marine fish such as flounders and gray mullet. These are in turn hunted by animals more often associated with inland waters than the sea, such as river otters and herons. Herons, when the tide falls and the mud flats are exposed, a different shift of creatures moves in. So there's always something you best watch out for. Crabs scurry about the surface, providing food for birds such as shell ducks and flocks of waders, which quickly appear. The sheer numbers of wading birds seen in estuaries are a testament to the hidden abundance of life in the mud. All of them feed on the worms, shellfish, and other small creatures that live there. Food is so quickly spread that all they have to do is probe their bills in and snap up anything they touch. Well, that's interesting, and now it makes a lot of sense where they're just like chomp, chomp, chomp. Different species of waders specialize in catching different prey. Oh, those with the longest bills, such as curlews and godwits, interesting, are able to dig down for ragworms, lugworms, and other deep burrowers. Yeah, I can agree with the birds. While these with shorter bills probe for the small crustaceans and shellfish that live near the top. So I'm on page 40, but so that was a West Indian manatee cruises through shallow water at a river mouth. That manatee we were looking at. Estuaries form, so brackish water. Estuaries form where rivers meet the sea. The sudden mixing of fresh and salt water causes sediment to sink to the bottom, creating extensive mud flats. And this is called an avocet. Okay, fair. See, when you see bubbles and stuff, I feel like something is up. Hello, hi, and I can't see the TV, but I know I was tagged, so hi and welcome. I'm working on a new setup to be able to like just stream from my room if need be, but the orientation is off. And then I got really into this book, Dude. There's many wading bird species from form. So the orientation's off anyway. And then this is a trippy. They're not in snow, or are they? They're on the beach, Lucy. Okay. Flocks which comb the freshly exposed mud flats and jittery crowds ready to take... Oh, that's what those little itsy bitsy white ones we have here. Jittery crowds ready to take flight at the slightest hint of danger, bringing up the rear behind these birds at the water's edge are other waders which prefer to forage in pairs, and you do see that. These birds, which tend to have relatively short bills, include such species as the ringed plover. I'm going to guess that's what we're looking at, is the ringed plover. Okay. These birds, which tend to have relatively short... Okay. Rather than probing the mud for prey, they tend to search more widely and examine the surface, snapping up any small animals that they find there. Most wading birds feed by catching individual animals, but flamingos... I've seen 2 flamingos in the wild. Sift the water and swallow dozens of tiny animal prey at a time. They are among the largest birds found in estuaries and are restricted. They're on restriction. Flamingos, you're on notice. Goodness. They are, I didn't know that, among the largest birds found in estuaries and are restricted mainly to the world's tropical... You may not pass. Tropical and subtropical regions. In more temperate regions, avocets, that's a new one to me, catch the creatures they eat individually. Wait, what? Unlike flamingos. Okay, I'll come back, but I do want to finish this. I also want a bite of this. Avocets feed on similar, slightly larger prey. Unlike flamingos, they catch their creatures they eat individually, sweeping the upturned ends of their bills through the water and snapping them shut as soon as they touch anything else. I've been saying, like, for a while, snakes are like magnetic. No, opposite. Birds magnetic. But we have magnetite in our brains too, actually. Dude, this is delicious. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay. As mashed potatoes, it's a meatloaf, but it's not a meatloaf. None of this is meat. Amy's, shout out to Amy's. This is a meatless meatloaf, Nathan. That's what I'm saying. This is a meatless meatloaf, and this is off the chain. Delicious. Yeah. Everything by Amy's is good. So far I have had the taco, and that taco one was like crunchy, like delicious. These vegetables are good. These mashed potatoes. Okay, we'll leave off at none other than Perfect Place 42, and I'll come back and we'll finish this book at some point. Basically, this was just a test. Running a test. Wait, oh yeah. I have to use it like a mouse. Okay. And then I also need to learn how to, like, roll outro things. For that not being meat. Like, really? You're kidding me. I was just about to hop off. But this is meatloaf. Hold on. Can we get it? Can we do it? Amy's makes vegetarian. I don't even know. But everything I've ever had by hers is really good. And it's a meatloaf that isn't meat. But it's freaking delicious. And other than that, we were just running a test to see if we could just stream from our room. Explanation station. Maybe that's why the pixels are the way they are. aside from the orientation being off. And perhaps maybe the HDMI cord. Good God, that's a lot of flamingos. Okay, wait, what? The book needs to be sideways? Is that the key? Good God, are they on steps? Ooh, I have seen one of these before. I've learned a ton back here, Nathan. I cannot even tell you. That's a cockle shell. Many bivalve shellfish that live in estuary mud. Those were western sandpipers on the prior page. And flamingos, I have seen 2 in the wild. With that, okay, wait. I was about to clicky. Wait, come here, flamingo. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? It's so zoomed in, even though it's not. I guess it was, for flip's sake. Excuse me. Now it looks the right way. So, is it Nathan, turn on your TV real quick and tell me, is it upside down? Can you do that? Nate, while I'm still live, tell me, is it upside down to you? I mean, from your room. My channel. Is my channel upside down? Just open YouTube. Now it's right side up. I find these guys a lot. I mean, yeah. Now it's correct, huh? I am. Somehow I got zoomed in. This meatloaf is like legitimately gone. Whoa. I kind of miss this guy. Oh. What are you? Other than like a Pokemon adorable. What is that? The peacock flounder. Is that what he is? So you can see it? Hi, Susie. This is a new setup. And just seeing how it works to be able to stream from my room. He is adorable, right? So cute. He's a peacock flounder, is one of the world's most colorful flatfish. Most of its flatfish. See, I don't like that. Again, that's making me think of mermaids. Is one of the most of its relatives are cryptically camouflaged, and some can even change color to match the seafloor on which they lie. As hatchings, flounders swim in open water and look much like other fish. These? Which one is which? Okay, my bad. This is not what I said at all. That's not a peacock flounder. Just call me a tarnation. The Irrawaddy dolphin is what? Irrawaddy dolphin. I have learned so much, like in the 20 pages of this. I am not even kidding. We're on page 46 and 47. But the Irrawaddy dolphin is named for a river in, technically it's spelled Myanmar, also known as Burma, but inhabits large rivers, estuaries, and coastal waters from eastern India, of Indonesia, and Vietnam. It seems equally at home in fresh, so brackish water. No problem for you. Some individuals spend their whole lives in rivers while others never enter there, instead patrolling coastal waters next patrolling. This flounder, a flatfish. The peacock flounder is one of the world's most colorful flatfish. Kind of bizarre. Kind of bizarre. I saw your plants blooming, Miss Susie. Yeah, spring is springing and sprunging already all over. There's the manatees. They're so cool. And the ancient now was driving me at whenever we were evacuating. He was with me driving. He's always with me. They are really like sea cows, I will say. Like, they're very gentle giants. For certain. Manatees are, if you haven't ever, well, he doesn't look that friendly. If you ever make it up this way, Apollo Beach, where the Tico plant is, but you probably have one by you. And, oh, they're there by the swarm. So that was a West Indian manatee on the last page. They feed on seaweed and other marine vegetation together with their relative, the dugong, which inhabits coastal waters around Indonesia and Australia. They make up a group known as sea cows, the world's only herbivore marine mammals. Interesting. Above, crab plovers scour dry mudflats covered only by the highest tides. Most plovers, literally the word lover with a P, have relatively short bills for wading birds, reflecting their diets, which are made up mainly of invertebrates found on the surface rather than the mud itself. So they ain't trying to do too much work. And now that I see this guy, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do know you. Now these guys, I mean, that is this a real picture, I wonder? Or like an artist rendition. Sockeye, get your sockeye, salmon crowd a river mouth as they return from the ocean to spawn. Like salmon worldwide, these fish lay their, that has always been so wild to me. They lay their eggs in rivers, but the hatchlings swim downstream after a year or two to spend their adult lives at sea. That is bizarre to me. So that's a salmon. That's got to be an artist rendition, I'm going to guess. Oh boy, where did we get to now? Oh, look at that guy. He is... I like trees. The spirit of the tree people, for sure. Oh, now we're into mangrove forest. A new chapter altogether. And we might just close off here. Look at... what is this? Mangroves are the only trees that can survive in salt. I did not know exactly that. I knew they were protected, but I didn't know they were legit. I mean, I just had never thought about it. Mangroves are the only trees that can survive in salt water. In tropics and subtropics, they fringe many parts of the coast in dense forest, so tangled that they are impenetrable, except where divided by impenetrable, except where divided by inlets, rivers, channels, and creeks. Mangroves play an important role in protecting coastlines from erosion and creating... These don't even... That's a big-ass mandrake tree. I'm just going to say, because this is like what I'm thinking of. Nate, you should turn it on real quick. Click it back to my thing. I know. Because I've never seen a mandrake. I mean, that's what's making me think of a mangrove tree like this size. Never. Like that. Look at that. That's a whole, that's the whole thing. Is that me I hear talking over there or no? What the hell? I would have never known that. I would have. You have? Around us? Around us? Okay, well. Is it going to tell me what that thing is? They're the most common on the mouths of the rivers, taking over deltas and covering estuary mudflats, which in colder climates might be devoid of plants. However, they are also found along muddy shores that are far from rivers, including those of many islands. Like coconut palms, they produce seeds that float. Interesting. Really? And can travel long distances at sea. These may colonize new areas far from their parents. On the other hand, mangrove seeds may grow into new plants right next to the trees that produce them. It all depends on whether the tide is in or out when they fall. Some species, so it's like, I wonder, do the mangroves like, man, what if I could have just been with my family? It's all very parallel to the human behaviors in roundabout ways. On the other hand, the mangroves, uh, okay, it all depends on whether the tide is in or out when they fall. Some species have seeds that are spear-shaped with heavy, okay, pointed tips. These actually germinate while still attached to their parents. Oh, snaps. Are you like from a blue blood family? Something like that, you know? Wow. Some species have seeds that are spear-shaped with heavy, pointed tips. These actually germinate while still attached to their parents and stick firmly in the mud when it is not covered by water. Excess salt is deadly to plants and would kill mangroves if they had not evolved. Interesting on the human parallels here. Methods to cope with it. Some get rid of salt by this guy, whatever he's doing. I'll let you look at his eye. By what was it? By something it, conserving it or transforming it into their older leaves, which then shed to be replaced by new ones. Others have glands on the leaves which okay, like a snake. Others have glands on the leaves which excrete a salt solution far more concentrated than seawater. The saltiness of mangrove leaves make them inedible to most creatures. But there is one animal that eats almost nothing else. Of course there is, right? The proboscis monkey. A monkey? This strange-looking primate, are you kidding me? I was not expecting that. This strange-looking primate inhabits the mangrove forest of kratom is from here, or a certain kind of kratom, Borneo, Borno, I'm going to say Borno, Borneo, was his name, and it's entirely vegetarian, eating mangrove shoots. Anyways, this is wild. And seeds as well as leaves, as befits its habitat. It is extremely accomplished swimmer with partially webbed back feet. If this is not to say, I did not know. Dude, I have learned so much by page 54. What? A fairly extremely accomplished swimmer with partially webbed back feet. If you don't show me a picture on the next page, I'll be sad. There are records of proboscis, proboscis monkeys being picked up alive by fishing boats more than a mile out at sea. Although a few creatures live in the branches of mangrove forest, the vast majority inhabit the mud and water beneath. Crustaceans are particularly numerous here, with different species inhabiting different zones. On the landward side, where only the highest tides reach, mud lobsters, I'm going to guess what that thing was, are common. These shy but quite large crustaceans are nocturnal, spending the day in deep burrows with their entrances plugged up with mud. As night falls, they emerge to feed, and carefully removing the organic matter from the mud around their burrows are piling up the waste material in volcano-shaped mounds. Alongside the mud lobsters live several types of large burrowing crabs. These feed on fallen mangrove leaves when they are not feeding. They gather leaf litter and pull it down into their burrows, kind of like the birds. Some of this is eaten later, but the rest rots down, enriching the mangrove mud. Okay, maybe this is a fiddler crab. Where's your little fiddle at? Fiddle in the middle. Nearer the low tide mark, fiddler crabs are the dominant crustaceans. When the tide is out, they pick through the mud for any organic matter the waters may have left behind. She's pretty, that's for sure. Female fiddler crabs use both sets of pincers to feed, but the males are at something of a disadvantage. They have one small set of pincers, like those of the females, which are perfect for searching for food. The other set, however, is enormous and completely useless for feeding. Let me guess, it's for fighting. I mean, look at that pincher, actually, in comparison to, like, just, I mean, size to scale altogether. The other set, however, is enormous and completely useless. Okay. In some species, it may be as heavy as the rest of the crab's body. This set is used for display and fighting. Male fiddlers, like I got my nails done. Look at me. Oh. Male fiddlers wave their giant claws to intimidate rivals and attract female, like, hey, come over here, to mate. They also use them to grapple other males and fight them. In some individuals, the left claw is the outsized one. Interesting. While in others, it is the right. The mud in mangrove forest is regularly inundated and exposed by the tides. Most fish that live here move in and out with the water. Young fish in particular find shelter among the tangled roots, I bet so, out of reach of many larger fish that predate them in more open waters. Even here, though, small fish are not completely safe. Birds such as night herons, do I keep saying it that way? Hunt them instead, waiting motionless on the trees' prop roots for prey to pass below. Kingfishers are also quite common in mangrove forest. In the mangrove forest of Africa and Asia, the pied kingfisher is one of the most abundant birds. This agile bird may hunt by diving from a... Okay, so they're common, these blue guys, but not here in the U.S. Whoa. I knew there was a reason we had not fully stopped yet. This is different. This is different. This is definitely different. What the heck? It's kind of like a Muscovy, but reverse style. Does anybody know what the funk this is? Because that's cuckoo chew. What is going on there? Oh, I'm surprised it did that good that long. There, better? That was crazy. Okay. What the fuck? Okay, something branch. Alternatively, it may hover over open water, plunging from the air to catch a meal. Not all of the birds found in the world's mangroves forest are residents. Many birds use a coast. People are gonna be like, what is that? I gotta figure out how to do this better, but that's why this is a test. Okay, many birds use the coastal trees simply as a place to set up their nests. Boobies. Is that what this bitch is called? Is a booby? I mean, I could understand why. Is this really a booby? It's probably a boob. What? Does it always look like that in flame, like testes? Boobies are seafarers, closely related to gamnets that often travel quite long distances to find shoals to fish out in the ocean. Like all birds, however, they must return to land to breed, and the branches of mangrove forests provide perfect platforms for their colonies. Frigate birds also gather to nest in these trees. It is the males which build the nest and attract the females to mate. Inflating. Okay, this is like a dewlap. That's interesting. Like not the geckos, but the ones from Cuba that are invasive, and you don't see that many geckos. And I was just asking him to, like, I was like, weird. Okay, so what is this? A frigate? F-R-I gate. Gates and stages and gates. Frigate birds also gather to nest in these trees. It is the males which build okay, we read that. Frigate are sometimes called aerial pirates. Hold up. It is the males which build the nest and attract the females to mate, inflating their scarlet begonias, inflating their scarlet throat sacs like balloons to advertise their eligibility, like, hey, Swipe left, I guess, these days. Ugh. Frigate. I don't know how else you would say it. Frigate. It's got to be frigate. Birds are also birds. My friend says birds. Frigate birds are also sometimes called aerial pirates, and it is a good description. They get their food by stealing it from other fish eating seabirds, harassing them in flight. Damn, like up in the sky, like birds, you're coming down, coming for you, and then blowing that up. If I was a bird, I'd be like, later, dude. Okay. To get their food by stealing it from other fish eating seabirds, harassing them in flight until they drop or regurgitate their catch. Meaning, like, they must make them so nervous. I'm guessing if they're flying, I don't know. Around the Bay of Bengal and the Indo-Pacific, without doubt, the most feared predator of the mangrove forest is the saltwater. Oh, I thought we were talking about this homie still. Crocodile. The prehistoric looking monster is the world's largest living reptile, growing up to 20 feet and often weighing well over a ton. Saltwater crocodiles are fearless and aggressive hunters, which count human beings on their list of prey. As the name suggests, they are just as at home in the sea as they are in fresh or brackish, about the first time you guys mentioned it, but okay, thanks, water. And they are accomplished ocean travelers, often swimming long distance to find, so they're like pirates, their own self. New islands and prey. Left. So that is a frigate. Birds are ocean wanderers. Wanderers. The wanderers that harry, literally harry, so kind of like harass, other birds to steal their prey. At certain times of the year, they gather to breed, often using mangrove trees as nesting platforms. Only the males have the red neck pouch, which they inflate to attract males. I feel like a female's. Well, in this day and age, who knows, right? No, I'm kidding. Above, the stilt roots of mangroves stilts. You could build a house out of that shit. I mean, if you can go through salt and water. The stilt roots of mangrove tree give it support and also help it to take up oxygen from the air. Normal trees, like y'all basic, no, I'm kidding. Normal trees absorb oxygen from the air pockets in the soil around their roots. But for mangroves, which live in water, this is not an option. Oh, well, we found a sticker, so there's that. But there's also that. And I know that the alligators at this point can adapt to. Saltwater crocodiles are amphibious creatures, spending time both in and out of the water. While this is not unusual among reptiles, it is not a trait one normally associates, no shit, with fish. Mud skippers, however, are also just as at home out of the water as in it. These little fish live in mangrove forests throughout Asia, Africa, in the Indo-Pacific, and are surprisingly common almost wherever they are found. Like all fish, mud skippers have gills, which they use to extract oxygen from water. But unusually, they can also absorb oxygen from... That's what this guy is. Okay. I don't think they're just over there, but maybe. They can take again, back to my theory of all the elements are interchangeable. Ether, you have the air, you have the heat, which is the fire, you have the earth, and W is like the last letter added. Okay, different species. So wait, while they cannot stay on land. Okay, hold on. Mud skippers have also absorb oxygen from the air through their skin. While they cannot stay on land indefinitely, this is where they find their food. Some species are carnivores, no shit, hunting crabs, insects, and occasionally other mud skippers. Oh my goodness. Others feed on algae and or other organic matter in the mud. Different species of mud skippers inhabit different levels on the shore, but none stray far above the high tide mark. Although they can take oxygen from the air, they still largely rely on their gills, which they keep covered with water. Interesting. When they are on land, they keep the entrances to their gill chambers shut to hold water in, but every so often they have to return to the sea or pools that they dig to replenish their supplies. Mud skippers have other adaptations to living out of water as well as the obvious ones regarding breathing. Their pectoral fins, goodness, everybody has those, for example, have muscular bases and act almost like legs, propelling them over the mud. Some species can even use these fins, I would trip out, to climb up mangrove roots in order to catch food. Mud skippers' eyes, old skipper's eyes there, are positioned like turrets on top of their head. So I need to define that word, turrets, on top of their heads. This gives them a 360 degree, oh crap, of the world, as above, so below, right? 360 degree of the world around them so that they can easily spot danger from behind or from the air. You shouldn't really be in the air though, but okay. It also enables them to see what is going above the waterline when their bodies are submerged. That's dope. Interestingly, their eyes are divided. Oh, they are. Horizontally. It kind of looks like. Interesting. That is interesting. Okay, with the top halves providing what color vision, and the bottom halves black and white. So these guys see half in Technicolor or whatever and half black and white. That's nuts. I never heard of that. I've learned so much. Like fiddler crabs, skippers dig burrows into which they retreat when the tide returns. These also provide useful bolt holes to escape predators when the tide is out. Although mud skippers can spend, they must periodically in the air, they have to go back to the water just to immerse themselves, rather, to replace the water covering the gills. That's crazy. Yes, saltwater crocodiles are ferocious and aggressive with no fear of humans. They are thought to kill well over 1,000 people across their range every year, many times more than any of the. Wait, whoa. These guys look ferocious, and the gist, they are thought to kill well over 1,000 people across their range every year, many times more than all of the world's, for real, many times more, aka more than all of the world's sharks put together. Every shark species out there, you're telling me these account for more of the deaths? That's a crazy fact. And this is a crazy fact too. Mud skippers, their eyes are horizontally split, and the top half sees color, and the bottom half only sees black and white. That's absolutely crazy. It is bizarre info, right? And every single shark, every single one. I think we're almost done with this chapter, which worked out well for this. I mean, I know I'm like learning so much. Who would have thunk it? Some mangrove trees have seeds with weighted, spiked ends. If the tide is out when these drop, this is wild too. So some of them, okay, you'd have to rewind. But if the tide is out when these drop, they stick it into the mud and begin to germinate straight away. Straight away. I don't have a good English accent. I don't have, not at all right now because I'm trying. If the tide, hello. If the tide is in, the seeds bob back up to the surface and are carried away by the currents to be washed up and germinate elsewhere. No, what's this guy? He don't look too happy about something. Oh, yeah, he does. What are they? Small fish hide among mangrove roots, which they use to shield themselves from larger predators, although mangroves offer protection from swimming predators. Yeah, exactly. Like with anything, they provide perches for fish-eating birds, such as kingfishers and herons, which may attack suddenly and without warning from above. Is this a coral snake, an eel? Now, is that poo? I don't know, because I found stuff that's like solid that looks like that. Okay, I want to know what kind of snake leaves those type of Did you? Yeah, I guess they need both. This guy. I need to get growing things too. Like it's literally stupid. See, I would think that's Florida too, but that's the thing. Everything looks like every place. Well, I wouldn't now that I look at it, but trippy. Mangrove forest health. Oh, that's what that is. help to stabilize shorelines, build new land, holding together mud and other sediments, which would otherwise be quickly washed away by the flowing tides, like a barrier island in a roundabout way, as well as providing a habitat for marine life. They also attract birds and arboreal animals, yeah, such as monkeys. I learned about a swimming monkey. I mean, I knew the monkeys could swim, but that was crazy. And then here we got herons and other predatory birds will often sit among mangroves looking into the water below for the small fish and crustaceans on which they feed. And this is working out pretty well. Like, I'm using my phone hooked up to the television via Samsung, what have you. Oh, that was a sea snake. And so it's like a computer. Anyway, sea snakes are common in the waters around mangrove swamps. So that's good to know. Some species, such as this one, the banded sea crot, lay eggs on beaches. Why is that? That snakes lay eggs anyway. However, others give birth to live young and never leave the sea. Interesting to me. Okay, coastal waters. We did like a whole chapter and then some. Oh, I'm excited about this one though. So, if you're not already subscribed, feel free to, but no pressure. And you can't really see much left here, but this was a vegetarian, I don't know, a meatloaf with no meat is the point. And that's probably not the best. Like, hey, look, I'm going to eat those vegetables and pee, by the way. Pee, by the way. That's a whole other topic, isn't it? The people, from what I hear, that are into that urine, what have you, blue-green algae. Ooh, I'm going to have to reread these. And I need to find out how to type back to y'all, but I feel like I might be able to do that now through here, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. So up next, for the next time, because this was just a trial run. Oh, good. Nathan, you're on it. Find out about that. Rich pickings. The water, that's in the ancient now. The waters around the world's coast. Okay, yeah. I'll end up here for a while. To most of us, coastal waters are the most familiar parts of the ocean, the thin line that separates the land between the depths beyond. So, okay, I will give just my thoughts. Okay, I've had this book for a long time. Not that long, but at least a year. And I gotta say, it is gotta mean something that, the narrative rather says that our seas, and I believe that our seas are not all of that discovered or whatever. But hence, okay, the submarine technology, I'm always carrying on about that and like how high, like nobody's paying attention to it. All of these creatures that I didn't even know fully existed. Horizontal eye split. I had heard about that, but I did not know color on top, black and white on the other. Bizarre. Those monkeys. All of this very much also mimicked a lot of things going prevalently on in my life. Living off of things, hosts, etc. Now, this chapter here is kelp forests, and it does look bizarre. But speaking of that sunlight there, the sun is definitely different. The sky is definitely different. And what is this guy here? People, kelp. That's a kelp. People often call coral reefs the rainforest of the sea. News to me. By the same analogy, kelp forests are the ocean's taiga, Taiga, like the coniferous trees that make up, see, everything mimics everything else, up the habitat on land. Kelp thrive in cold conditions and grow in uniform abundance. The larger forests are found in waters with temperatures no higher than 68 degrees, extending right up to the edges of the Arctic and Antarctic circles. Kelp are gigantic seaweeds. That looks pretty damn alive to me. Okay, I mean, I guess seaweed is... Okay. And like most of their smaller relatives, they require firm foundations on which to attach themselves. That's where it's all been like, it's a bit much. For this reason, they are only found around rocky coastlines where the seabed is solid or formed from large boulders. They anchor themselves with structures known as holdfast. Okay, now we know that word. These look like the root bundles of plants. Boom, Nate. See, things can look like things, or kelp are algae, members of a related and y'all were just talking about algae on the screen. Kelp are algae, members of a related but distant kingdom. That's interesting. It's all in the kingdom. What, Atlantis? But unlike them, play no part in absorbing water or nutrients. Oh yes, we also learned that like things can just like carry the water or the air that they need around with them, either or. But unlike them, play no part in absorbing water and nutrients. Their sole purpose is to grow. Oh, it's always the cracks and crevices that things, filling them so that the kelp itself cannot be dragged away and washed ashore or swept out to sea. Oh my goodness. Above the holdfast is a long rope-like but flexible stem called a stipe. This is immensely strong and has to be in order to withstand. This is a new word for me. I know what the word buffet means, but I've never seen it with the ing. Buffeting of storm-driven waves, growing from the stipe or extending from its end, depending on the species, are great strap-like fronds packed with photosynthesizing pigment. In some kelp, these can each, oh God, I'm afraid to even know. In some kelp, these can each stretch for dozens of feet, from holdfast to the tips of their most distant fronds. Some kelp can measure nearly. You're telling me that this thing has things that can go 200 feet long? Wait, let me read. Okay, wait. Growing from the stripe or extending from its end, depending on the species, are great strap-like fronds packed with photosynthesizing pigment. In some kelp, these can each stretch for dozens of feet. From holdfast to the tips of their most distant fronds, some kelp can measure nearly 200 feet or 60 meters long. Okay, kelp maintain their up. Oh yeah, because they're not leaving. They're staying right where they're at in a crevice. Kelp maintain their upright position in the water by means of large, air-filled bladders. These ensure that the fronds receive as much light as possible, maximizing their ability to produce food. At low tide, the fronds are often exposed to the air, but they never dry out. This is due to them being a freaky one in nature. The presence within them of large quantities of algin, a substance they produce, which is incredibly water retentive. Various types of kelp occur in different parts of the world, but all of them possess the same basic structure. In most of the areas they are found, they tend to form almost uniform submarine forests. So like exactly the same uniform submarine forest dominated by a single species. Okay. In this way, they, like we're the blue-collared kelp, we're the white-collared kelp. This is the ghetto kelp. In this way, they again closely mirror the forest of taiga, T-A-I, I'm not sure, that divide broadleaf forests from tundra on land. Kelp adds a new and rare dimension to the underwater world, one of vertical structure. Creatures in kelp forests are not just restricted to the seabed or open water. They also live on and among the fronds themselves. I'm going to have to look a lot of words up before we come back to this book. Sea snails munch away at the surface of kelp fronds along with small isopods, the marine equivalent of leaf-eating insects. These are kept in check by fish such as it's the shot caller. These are kept in check by fish such as kelp bass and Garibaldus, which in turn are eaten by diving birds, sea lions, and seals. I just happened to look up and see his face. It was right on it. I was hoping it was. Then, okay. The number of animals kelp forests support is surprisingly high. Yeah, with their 200 feet. What? Tentacles? I assume. Different species prefer different zones. Senorita fish, for example, rarely venture far from the bottom, while tops melt, as the name suggests, form small shoals in the canopy. Some creatures, such as the Pacific white-sided dolphin, regularly visit in search of food, but do not live in the forest exclusively. Like, I'll vacation here, but I'm not going to stay all the time. Who are adorable. Others are almost never found anywhere else. Huh. Now, see, why would I want to go back to? So, that worm-like thing was a nudibranch, better known as sea slugs, are among the more bizarre-looking inhabitants of the world's kelp's forest. A Garibaldi fish swims through kelp just off the coast of California, and then the kelp rely on sunlight to generate energy. Like trees on land, they reach upward toward the sun, but unlike trees, they are held up by gas floats rather than sturdy. Oh, I thought it said tanks, like in regard to like a scuba diver. Sturdy trunks. So, unlike trees, they're held up by gas floats. So, like what I was saying earlier, how they can like take their air, their water with them. That's a trip. That is a trip. And then these guys over here, kelp or giant seaweed. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess that's got to be what was on the Pacific coast, is because I'm like, the Gulf Coast does not have, and we also don't have seals, so there's that. But yeah, the seaweed and just what is out on the Pacific is like so different. It's almost alien like, I would say. Here a gray seal lies among kelp holdfast at low tide. I thought that was a diver at first, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, that's 2 fish, 1 going. It's like a yin and yang. It's 3 fish, actually, technically. Protection for fish. Most feed on introvert. Yeah, that word. Now, these guys, sea otters, along with connecting. Well, thanks for reconnecting me. I appreciate it. Are rarely found outside kelp forest. Excuse me. When asleep or at rest on the surface, they wrap kelp fronds around their bodies to prevent themselves from drifting away. That is cool. Oh, I'm surprised it. Rotate. You better rotate it back. I am trying to rotate it back. There. It's literally switched up its orientation on its own. Hello, whoever that was that just said hi and welcome. This guy is just chilling. Hello, River Otter. Who knew he's all tethered down and or up? One such resident specialist is the sea otter, which inhabits the kelp forest of the northern Pacific, ranging from the Kuril, Kuril Islands and Russia's, oh boy, Kamchatka Peninsula through Alaska and western Canada to the coast of California. Across much of its range, it feeds almost exclusively on sea urchins and abalone. Abalone makes a beautiful, like, stone at some point, mineral. Well, I guess it's not a mineral because it's kind of alive, but abalone is really beautiful, which thrive among kelp forests on the seafloor. After diving down to collect its prey, it finds a flat pebble before returning to the surface. Wait, what? It finds a flat... After diving down to collect its prey, it finds a flat pebble. That's precise. Before returning to the surface. Lying on its back, it balances the pebble on its chest. Are you serious? And uses it as an anvil. Okay, to smash open its prey. Where's your little pebble, buddy? No, that's crazy. What? Where was I? Come on. Okay, it balances the pebble on its chest and uses it as an anvil to smash open its prey and get at the soft flesh inside. Where they occur, sea otters are important to the survival of kelp forests, protecting them by keeping the numbers of sea urchins down. These spiny invertebrates attack kelp holdfast and can decimate the marine forest if left unchecked. Sea otter, you're on notice. Unlike most marine mammals, it's kind of funny. Sea otters have no layer of blubber to guard. Wait, they're marine mammals, so he's a mammal. He's a mammal to guard against the cold. Instead, they have an extremely luxuriant pelt, which traps a layer of air, wild, against the skin, keeping it both warm and dry. For real. This pelt was almost the sea otter's undoing, as it was considered so desirable. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as soon as I saw the word pelt. Was almost the sea otter's undoing, as it was. I thought that was his hand. I mean, there's his paw. Almost his undoing because people wanted it for clothes, probably. Considered so desirable in the 18th and 19th century that the species was hunted closely to extinction. Populations have yet to properly recover. Sea otters are important predators of sea urchins, but they are not the only creatures in kelp forests that eat them. Asteroid starfish, for example, love that, also hunt sea urchins, as do horn sharks, undeterred by their defensive spines. Horn sharks are usually in having flattened plate-like teeth, evolving for crushing tough prey rather than slicing through flesh. Many other that is helpful to know just because of the type of teeth I find. Okay. Many other creatures share the seafloor among the holdfast. Among them are filter feeders such as, of course, fan worms, sponges, and sea squirts. Didn't even know that existed. Spiny lobsters pick between the rocks for carrion, while octopuses and small sharks hunt. Off California, the leopard shark is a common visitor to the giant kelp forest, swimming in to scour the southern came out, seabed for prey. Higher up in the water column, blue sharks patrol between the fronds. The abundance of life in kelp forests reflects the many niches they offer. Many of the fish that live in them are found nowhere else, but others are simply drawn in from the surrounding water. So it's like the trippy forest, like, come in, by the prospect of prey as well as food. They provide protection and somewhere to hide. Oh, good, we were on it. It is much easier for fish to escape predators between the wavering fronds. I guess that's a frond. That's going to be my conclusion. And escape, yada yada. So that sea otter here, he lives along the Pacific North American coast and are rarely found outside kelp forest. When asleep or at rest on the surface, they wrap kelp fronds around their body. That is, like, how do they know to do that? They don't, but they just do. Back to him. I mean, hello. This 3-2-1 test went for a while. That's the kelp frond. I'm just like guessing. Unlike Garibaldis, which tend to be solitary, senoritas are schooling fish. Like, fool, you finna get schooled. No, they feed on small invertebrate animals and sometimes pick the parasites off larger fish to eat. Well, I'm all for you then. This mofo here. Oh my gosh, I have a stuffed octopus thing that looks literally identical to this guy. Nathan, if you turn on my channel, you will literally see our stuffed octopus. That, his eye, it looks identical. Okay, with its bright orange coloration, that's what a Garibaldi fish is? Does that not? One of the most striking inhabitants of California's kelp forest, adults maintain small home territories, which they guard from others of their kind. A Garbadalde? Garibaldi. Garibaldi, I would have. Garibaldi, or really just depends. Okay. Ooh, the dolphin. Porpoise. What's the difference? Nobody knows. No, somebody knows. That's why we're here. But we are going to wrap it up soon. That's what. Did you see that? Tell me that doesn't look like the octopus. Like you could walk in here with you had it around your neck yesterday, but that looks just like Drew's octopus. Does it not, Nathan? Yes, I think it does. So when the orientation is in the right direction, what is going on there? Kelp bass are top. Some sea snails feed on kelp like their land living cousins. They scrape away at the surface of their food with a rasp-like tongue or radula. Looks like that. Oh, is the radula. Okay. What do you got going on? Interesting eye. For real. This is kelp bass are large fish that prey on smaller species. The spiky creatures behind this kelp bass are sea urchins. That looks like something else too. The Pacific white-sided dolphins sometimes enter kelp forest. That's beautiful. Like nothing more amazing than like hearing the dolphins do their thing. Like with that humming. I'm trying to tell, is that a fish? It's kind of like the birds. I thought those were fishes at first. They're not. So are these all the fronds? I'm so glad because that's less. Wait, is that a fish though? I don't really know. And I'm watching this as kind of like, oh, come on. Which orientation do you want? Because like, which orientation do you want? Huh. Why do I have a feeling that if we do that, it'll work? And it sure darn did. That was weird. Sea urchins. Is that a big fish? What else is over here? Jellyfishes. When I'm outside. Oh shoot! I should go outside actually for the stars to see. Okay. So yeah, how do we do that? Why do those look extra alien-like? All right. Echinoderms are common on the rocks. Okay. So, this has been the book, Spirit of the Ocean. Discover the beauty of the underwater world. We kind of, sort of just did. And with that, you kind of just got to give me a second. Or you don't. But happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to you. Hopefully on Thursday you'll be most blessed because I'm a Thursday's child. This is the best meatloaf I ever had that has no meat. Just saying, for real. Okay. We're about to go to the stars. From the ocean to the stars, and we can definitely go see Mars. Oh my God. I legitimately cannot even believe how flippin' delicious that was. Okay. So good. Like props to Amy's, for reals. She makes food. Amy makes food, okay? No, but really she does. Now I wonder how this is going to go, because this is me using my phone as a computer, so to speak.